we don't have the same problem yet as we do in Quebec. I was part of groups that were trying to set up the law, the legislation, so that we wouldn't get slapped. And that's a short for long term. Do you remember all the letters? Anyways, if you look it up on Wikipedia, it's pretty interesting. It's a law that was instaured in the 2000s in Quebec because we're fighting against the fracking and all this in our St. Laurent Valley. And funny enough, with the privatization of our services in the government, we have industry that are very hungry and that have a lot of resources. So what happens sometimes is they bring people into those type of situation where they know that they don't have enough resources to go into court. Now, the government teaming up with industry, that's a lot of resource. So it's as if I would bring you into court for $5 million because I know already that you don't have $5 million. And you will try to come to court because you're right in fighting whatever your rights are, right? But you'll probably lose your hair, your husband, your house, and your job because it's very stressful. And the law order of Canada is recognizing that and now is giving those tools to those provinces or territories that are fit to bring this forward and push for this law to come in. So I feel that this path that we're going on is not friendly at all. It makes me taste the bad taste of what I went through in Quebec, and I'm happy that these people came up with that law now. And I would highly suggest any legal articulated person in Dawson and in the Yukon to look up this term, slapping, slap, all the dots. And it's actually a way to discourage people in going through consultations. Because 6 years or 4 years of work where I was an ambassador in Quebec, doing some focus group and disturbing my population and trying to get what they want, what they need, and to write beautiful reports. And by the back door, I have a friend knowing that the high end in the RCMP is already doing the recommendation plan when they don't have the recommendation. So this is a new style in our leaders. And that's why I'm inspired by the Yukon. I feel that the Yukon is very articulated, very educated, very involved, very first-hand to find its own solution. That's why it's so important to respect that. And I feel that the Yukon has a fiber that I would like to bring forward today. I'm very impressed by what Iceland did. Iceland decided not to collaborate with its government, trying to scare them and telling them that if they would go forward with our plan of renewing their whole government, they would eat fish for the rest of their life. It's been 4 years now. It's going super well. It took them 3 years to do their own government. They threw out the people that they didn't want, and they brought in people that had zero political experience. It took 3 years, but it's functioning today. Check it out. So the Yukon can be a fine example of these stories about our money, our people that we put in power that are supposed to listen and acknowledge procedures. And it's very disrespectful, and the Yukon will not say nothing. And I don't feel this is the case here, and I'm very proud of my community. So I encourage you to check out the new tools that we have to protect ourselves and talk about it, educate yourself, and see if your leaders can bring this forward to Parliament, because this is not the first and the only place where this is happening. We don't have our dialogue going. We have ambassadors taking notes. So something happened in Whitehorse today. It was very disrespectful also. There's a lot of things happening right now. So it's now time. It's our responsibilities to bring forward those tools. So if the anti-slapping law is to be fashionable at this time of the Yukon, maybe it's time to bring it forward.